Alright, and welcome back to the channel. This episode, as you can see, we have the motors sitting right here. We got everything primed. We got to take and add some new fluid in there since we drained it out when we pulled the pumps. So we'll go ahead and do that. You just pull the little vent caps out, pour it in there. There's a little check port on the side. We're not even going to get to that mark, so we're just going to get enough in there where we're good enough. Got 2 cords for basically the front and the rear, and then we'll go ahead and start connecting up the controller. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get some fluid in there.
With the fluid for this, it calls for Pentasyn, Pentasyn ATF9. So I looked at the specification, viscosity, and other properties, and there isn't a significant difference between your Pentasyn high-end ATF9 and basically Macron 6 ATF fluid. So what I went ahead and did is I got just full synthetic ATF in both of these, and that's gonna be it. So next step is let's go ahead and start connecting up all of our controller wiring. So we gotta put on our motor harnesses, we gotta put on the battery harness, the charge port harness, and then the actual controller harness, and interconnect it all.
"11 minutes later."
Alright, so I had to run inside and double check some stuff in the documentation. Right now, so let's see. This harness right here, this portion of the harness. So this goes to the accelerator pedal, but that runs to the rear motor. And you can see, I mean, that's not gonna work. We're gonna have to go ahead and extend these right here. Otherwise, seems pretty well situated, and the lines are just right. So that's the only one that I'm seeing that we're gonna have to modify at all, is the one running to the rear motor harness. So with that being said, we need to get ourselves a 12-volt battery to connect this up, because everywhere you go, you need a 12-volt circuit here, 12-volt circuit there, 12-volt circuit here. So we'll get the 12 volts all hooked up, and like I said previously, I looked at the documentation. One says you will need a 120 ohm resistor in the loop for the high voltage loop for the AC and heater, which we're not using right now. The other portion of the documentation says you will need it. So whether we need it or don't need it, we'll find out. We'll get this all hooked up, and then we'll go ahead and give it a test run after getting the battery programmed. So let's go ahead and hook up the high voltage wires to the rear motor, front motor, and then hop down to the store and pick ourselves up a new battery for this. I think we're just gonna go with a small little dinky 12-volt battery just for the time being, or borrow one from a car. Last little thing, it's getting hot right now, so we'll pick this back up tomorrow, but for now, got the battery post. So this is the 12 volt DC to DC converter from the high voltage to the low voltage. So these two are here, but they are not marked by Tesla as to which one is which. So after some scrounging around on the internet, this back post right here is the positive terminal. So what I'm gonna do is just give it a little bit of paint over here so we can decipher which one's which. It has been a few weeks, so I gotta get back working on this damn battery. Summer's been pretty hectic. So what I do have is I went out and got a, it's a little fuse block. If I can get it open, there we go. All right, so we just got our negative, positive, and then fuse blocks and then wires out. I did get clarification from the company, from the controller, as to what wires what. So we'll go ahead and get these connected up on the fuse block, get some terminals done up in some heavy gauge wire, and connect up our little mini battery. And that should be good for the most part, and we should be ready to contact the company to get battery programmed. Alright, so on the setup, we have the front motor, rear motor plugs. So we have a purple wire coming in from those. Both of those are drive inverter constant 12 volt voltage. So this one is going to go directly to this. Everything else is basically going to be on a switch. So we'll connect these up. Let's see. We'll just pick a spot. Down here. And then, so those are the two purple ones, and then this red guy that we have running, that goes to the BMS charge control board, and that one's also constant power. All right, so we have a constant right here. Now, this guy, the thick one, is the oil pump 12 gauge. That is a 15 amp. And then front motor, same thing, oil pump switched 15. So we'll put those on either side at the top here so we're not confused. And 15. Now, I have some switches that we're going to put on and put some quick lines on here. That way we can connect it on there and have them switched. And these are the switches we're going to use. They're just simple on-off LED switches. But we're not going to connect up the LED. We're just going to have the pass-through straight. I'm not interested in lighting up, so go ahead and hook these up. Alright, so I just did a quick check. Our constant voltages are good. The LED is lighting up, means there's current flow. So that's all good. Now, for connecting the rest of this up, I'm gonna pick this back up tomorrow and we'll see if we can get the motors turning. Right on, so now I'm gonna change this just a little bit. So I have the negative cable, I'm gonna split that in half and put in one of these disconnects. So that way we can just turn it on and off while we're doing the testing. Makes it easy for us, makes it where I can just disconnect the whole thing and have it off. So I'm gonna put this in and then we'll go ahead and start going through the manual on our startup procedures.
Here we go. So everything's connected up. I think we're good to go. I'm gonna go ahead and switch this guy on. Okay, so now we have our ground running to it. Right now it's backfeeding a little bit through the wires from the BMS, but that's okay. So now we have good voltage across that. And now we are gonna turn on the oil pump. And I just all right, so you guys can hear it. That's the front motor. It's cycled on and running. Okay, so that works. Let's try our rear motor. All right, so oil pumps seem to be working. So now, let's see. So this is the drive inverter right here. And controller's on. What was this one? This one was the BMS. And this one is our ignition signal. Okay, and ignition signal. All right, drive inverters. As I always say, nothing's on fire, so things are good. All right, so let's try our high voltage activation. And this may not work without getting the battery reprogrammed. All right, well, we got everything prepped up. So I guess the next thing is going to be contacting them to get this reprogrammed.
So I keep thinking I'm going to end this video and then we make some more progress. So right now, in a few minutes here, we're going to connect up with Ingenext. We're going to log into my tablet, which is connected to the CAN bus, and reprogram a battery. So once that happens, we should be able to do a dry run of the motors. So wish me luck. All right, so we are all connected up. And now we're gonna go ahead, we got TeamViewer up. We're gonna go ahead and get in touch with Ingenext. Once we do, like I said, we have TeamViewer up. They'll log in using the TeamViewer, access the port, and then get in over the CAN to reprogram the battery. Now for that, we have our power, ground, and then our constant voltage signal here. So it's all connected up. It is all powered up. I don't have the drive inverters powered up or the controller. I am assuming that they do not need a controller up for this, but we will check once they respond. Okay, so they are asking if we have ever dismantled a battery. Battery is still intact. Okay, and then, so did we dismantle it and did we replace the power fuse? So I let them know that I replaced the power fuse and that we are good and it was not dismantled beyond that point. And they are in. No, it stopped recording. All right, I'm not sure what you guys missed. They're all connected up and he's got all the CAN signals buzzing right there. So let's see what they want. Hopefully they can get it programmed soon. Well, that was anticlimactic. So they were getting no signal from a battery control module. So I decided to open it up and take a look. And the board, hopefully you guys can see that, it has all kinds of corrosion on it and broken lines. So to the eBay seller that sold me this, suck it. The other thing is there appears to be a loose cable somewhere in the penthouse connector for the PCS, which is our DC to DC converter. So I gotta open up the penthouse and double check that. But it is the way it is. We spent an hour trying to diagnose things, but it seems like these are the issues here. So we'll go ahead and order a new board, open that up, take a look. For now, thank you for watching. Catch you guys next time.
It's Grullon DDR. It's like a McLaren F1 clone. Sorry, inspired. McLaren F1 inspired. I hope so. Oh, watch out. YouTube. As long as you guys don't mind.
Yeah, it's up off the ground. Just go ahead and put it out. I'll tell you when to lift. Yeah, I'll tell you when to lift. Go ahead and cut straight. Go ahead and go up. Up. No, don't go forward. Up. 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 Slide it in. Come towards me a little bit. Go ahead, step it in. Now go ahead, lower it. You're on deck. Now push. Slide right past it. Keep coming. You got it on. You got it forward now. Okay, lower it and push it in.
Good. It's all the way front.